Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise in support of the motion to thank the President for his address. It is an honor for me as a new member to participate in this debate. When my son was a toddler, he walked up to the television and he scrolled across the screen as though it were a giant iPad. That simple moment captures the paradox of progress. As technology propels us forward, it also reshapes our psychology, our families, and our society. The question before us is not whether we progress, but how we progress without losing our values and humanity. Our children today are born into a world of touchscreens and instant connectivity. They are more tech-savvy than us. They are growing up with Google Gemini, ChatGPT, generative AI, and technologies not yet imagined. But the ease of technology, however useful, always comes with trade-offs, especially for families. In Tampines East, many young parents tell me they struggle with these trade-offs. With long days spent juggling work, children, aging parents, they are exhausted. And so, devices often become quick fixes. On the surface, we see children pacified with screens. But in truth, parents are simply trying to survive the day. Mr. Speaker, sir, technology not only changes how we live, more fundamentally, it shapes our psychology. And it is here that we must confront the deeper paradoxes of technology. We saw the rise of the Me generation with the arrival of Facebook in 2004. It amplified our natural tendencies for social comparison. Here lies the first paradox. On the one hand, social media has given us unprecedented ways to stay connected with many. On the other hand, it has left many feeling more isolated than ever. As face-to-face interactions decline, social skills weaken. And online, negativity thrives. Trolling, cyberbullying, and toxic exchanges fuel stress, anxiety, and depression among our youth. Worse still, harmful behaviors are not only displayed, but rewarded. When such conduct gains likes, shares, and attention, it creates a dangerous kind of social proof, signaling to our young that bad behavior is normal behavior. We also see instant gratification becoming the norm. Short-form videos and reels serve up endless distraction curated by algorithms that create echo chambers. Many of these clips present extreme or simplistic views. Yet our young spend hours doom scrolling, caught in loops of distraction that they themselves call brain rot. And this is the second paradox. While diversity of thought is at our fingertips, what we consume often narrows rather than broaden our perspectives. The consequences are significant. We are seeing shorter attention spans, weaker critical thinking, and reduced emotion regulation. This in turn erodes social cohesion, resilience, and grit, all qualities that have defined Singapore's success. And then there is the third paradox of convenience. Technology promises to save us time, groceries at a tap, emails answered on the go. Yet these same devices have also become relentless sources of stress. Because we can work anywhere, we end up working everywhere. The flood of emails, WhatsApp messages, and notifications deplete our mental mental reserves. We see a similar trade-off in healthcare. A recent study showed that doctors who leaned too heavily on AI to detect precancerous growths soon became less adept without it. This is de-skilling. The quiet loss of ability when machines do too much work. And it mirrors daily life. The more we let technology think for us, the weaker our focus, the weaker our resilience, and the weaker our grit. The lesson is clear. Even as we adopt new tools, we must remember that these technologies are fundamentally just tools, and we must closely guard our human strengths, judgment, intuition, and compassion. Mr. Speaker, sir, our response to technology cannot be just about setting rules or guidelines. It must also be about shaping mindsets. Prime Minister has spoken about the we generation. President Tharman has called for a we-first mindset, one that places the collective good above self-interest. I believe this is the mindset Singapore needs as we enter our next phase of progress. A mindset is a lens through which we see the world. It shapes how we interpret events and how we respond to them. And mindsets are not born, they are shaped by what families emphasize, what schools teach, and what society chooses to reward. So how do we nurture such a we-first mindset? I believe we must start with kindness. Kindness may sound simple, but it is the foundation of empathy, resilience, and perspective-taking. The very soft skills our young will need to survive in the AI era. And kindness must be lived in every sphere of life, at home, in school, in the community, and in the workplace. In schools, this means teaching empathy alongside knowledge and equipping our young with stress and emotion management skills that must be practiced continuously throughout their school years to be truly honed. Experiential learning, whether through community service projects or outdoor challenges, give children first-hand experience of responsibility and interdependence and works best when reinforced with encouragement. These approaches should be built systematically into our school curriculum at every level so that empathy and emotional resilience are not left to chance. And to make them work, we must strengthen support with more counselors and psychologists to guide programs and walk alongside our young as they navigate mental and emotional challenges. In families, it means modeling kindness at home, not only to strangers, but to one another. Too often, we forget to be kind to those closest to us. Children may not always listen to what we say, but they notice what we do, including our unkind behaviors and the way we use devices. Even though I worry about my kids' screen time, one day my daughter asked me, "Why are you always on your phone?" And that hit me. I realized that she was also modeling my behavior. But kindness does not stop at home. It must extend into our communities. And in communities, it means designing systems that make care second nature. In Tampines East, I have seen residents care for one another in many ways. Youths teaching seniors digital skills, volunteers delivering meals to neighbors, and families looking out for elderly folks living alone. These small acts of care may seem ordinary, but together they sustain the kampong spirit that defines Singapore. At the national level, we must also renew the Singapore Kindness movement. Campaigns are useful, but lived experiences matter more. Kindness must reach into digital spaces, from gaming platforms that reward cooperation to workplace tools that encourage us to appreciate a colleague. We should nudge, not lecture. When systems are designed so that kindness is the default, like calm rooms in shopping malls that give children with special needs and their caregivers a safe space to reset, or barrier-free ramps in our estates that make access automatic for seniors and parents, kindness becomes second nature. And by celebrating small, everyday acts of kindness, we show that it is not distant or heroic, but something each of us can practice daily. Finally, in business, kindness must also find its place. Businesses, too, can be a force for good. Corporate social responsibility has grown, and companies today are rightly held accountable by consumers. Yet business pressures can sometimes relegate kindness to the background. We should instead support organizations that embed kindness into their DNA, whether through inclusive hiring, supporting employees who show empathy, or giving staff time and resources to serve the community. The role of government is not to purchase kindness, but to enable it, to make it easier to care, not to pay people to care. In many parts of the world, divisions of race, religion, and class are hardening. Singapore has been fortunate to avoid this, but we cannot be complacent. Numbers like the Gini coefficient show that inequality here is moderated after taxes and transfers. Yet numbers alone do not capture the lived experience of inequality. Mr. Speaker, sir, nurturing a we-first mindset also means ensuring fairness, because kindness at the individual level must be matched by fairness at the structural level. A child from a lower-income family may be just as capable, but if tuition and enrichment is out of reach, he starts the race several steps behind. A worker may be diligent and talented, but if hiring unconsciously favors those who look the part, it is not merit that decides, but stereotype. And when such institutional barriers combine with self-doubt or prejudice, they can quietly block opportunity. A student who keeps hearing, "People like you cannot make it," may begin to believe it. An older worker who feels he will never be given a fair chance because of his age may stop trying. This is why we must continue to identify and dismantle barriers, both visible and invisible, so that Singapore remains a true meritocracy, a society where opportunities are not predetermined by background, but created through ability, effort, and fair chance. Because only then can progress feel meaningful, not just for the successful few, but for every Singaporean who works hard and contributes. Mr. Speaker, sir, progress is not just about technology or economics. It is also about psychology. It is about ensuring that even as we advance, we do not lose sight of who we are. As we mark SG 60 and look ahead to SG 100 and beyond, let us remember the lessons of history. Civilizations that endured were not only those that adapted to change, but those that did so while holding fast to their values. And what are our values? The values of being human, the value of being Singaporean. Mr. Speaker, in Mandarin. 在这个快速发展的世界里，我们不能忘记做人最基本的价值观。做人要有人情味，做新加坡人要有同舟共济的精神，并肩前行。真正的进步，是我们大家一起的进步。跨越种族、宗教、阶层，共同奋斗有多难，大家都很清楚。但我们的先辈做到了，我们这一代也一定能做到。只要我们互相扶持，坚定信念，未来的马拉松，我们一定能赢。It is our unity, our resilience, and our spirit of looking out for one another that will carry us forward. As we race to the top, let us make sure we do not leave anyone behind. Because the true test of progress is not how high we climb, but how many we bring along with us. Thank you.